Hello, this is a note about image overlays in qtVlm. I have a couple other videos about that, but this is in response to a question that came up in our marine weather course, and it's just quicker to do a demo of how it works, and then the nuances and details will follow up there in the classroom discussion. But the idea that came up here, or the suggestion that came up, was how do I show the full Pacific analysis, map, because normally when you download those, you get them you get half of the ocean at a time, and the trick to that simply is there is a place to get the whole ocean at one step, and that's what we're going to do. And let me just so the first idea here is, where do I get that unique file? And I can show that here. You send a mail to Saildocs, everything's blank except you send this. That's a message that will get the full Pacific Ocean, and there's an Atlantic counterpart. I think you just put an A right here. And then on top of it, I'm just going to, because we're going to look at that later, in the same email, I'm going to get a copy of the latest GFS, because that's where we want to overlay that data on top of that image. And so that's the way we're going to do it. And there's two ways you can do this. One is okay, let's just start here. I would go here, and I'm up here, and you get to the image part from Gribs, weather image, open a weather image. And then 1, 2, and now I've set this up here, number 2. Let's just see what this is. Yeah. Okay, so number 2, I've set this up, and I just have the image inside of, I've downloaded it. You watched the well, you didn't see it, but I downloaded it. And then here is the image. Here's the Grib file that I just got from Saildocs, and here's the image I just got from Saildocs. This I requested earlier. That's a color version, but this is the field. That's the image we want to overlay in there. And let me just show one other thing here. Where is that? Size. So you see, this is 143 kilobytes. That's getting to be fairly large to download when you're underway. And let me come back then to some tricks you can do. If you request half of this in a different way from Saildocs, you can get both sides together for about 36, 38 kilobytes, like 18, 19 kilobytes for each half. But then we have to deal with the fact that there's 2 images, but now there's just one. And so what I've done here is, this is where you set up the image. I've done it on number 2, I think. Yeah, number 2. And then I've directed it to this file over here. So this is just like you hit browse here, and then go over and click this link right here, and that puts that link in there, right there. And then these are the setups that you would need, and you can just copy those. You'd have to play with it a little bit. What it asks for is the north and west corner. Let's go back to that image here. Where is it? This one. Okay, so the north and west corner, and so the north, this is like 60, and that's like about 65. I just originally guessed 65, and then I said it started 65, so it's 65 north, and then the left side over here, I guessed, was about 135 east. 135 east is 140, 135. But I've also discovered in doing this that it's a little bit easier to put these in do them all relative to west. So I'm starting over here at, in other words, 135 east is the same as, I go 180 plus 45, so that's 225 west. So I'm using it more like a GHA, a Greenwich hour angle, rather than a longitude. But anyway, that works. And then these are just some tweaks that then once you load it, you'll have to tweak it. And you'll come up with something like this when you're adjusting the image. But this is a pretty good starting point. Then what it wants is the longitude range, and that's 111. Now, I think I started, it's just like, this is like 115 to 140, 135, 115 to 145. I think I put in originally 110. And then I went from 15 to 65 and had the 50. So that's where that came from. But the point is, this is the image, and this is the settings you can use as a starter. If you want to fine-tune it later, that's fine. But this is now pulling the image from your hard drive. Now later, just in 1 minute here, I'm going to show how you just pull it directly from the internet. And you can do that. A qtVlm is like Iridium Go certified, so you can just link right straight in there and get this directly if you want to do it that way when you're underway. Or you can download them into a folder and then assign it to the folder. For work at home, when you're sitting at home, you might as well put the NOAA link right in here and then just pull it up each time you want to look at it. So that's the way that looks. And let's just say okay, I think. Okay. All right, and there it is. Now, the georeferencing is close, but you could maybe tweak it to get a little bit better. But then that's the image there. And that's a georeference as we want it. And that one, let's see, what's the date here? March 15th. No, that's today's date. Oh, I must have updated it. Okay, I thought I had an old one in there. Okay, so that's the way you do it. Then once you have this image in here, then you can overlay. Like I imported that GFS file that we just downloaded, and that I can just turn that on, and there's the wind. And I think I downloaded the surface. So there's the surface wind, and that is then you can change. That's okay. What do we got here? That's at 12 Zulu on March 15th. March 15th, 11. Oh. March 15th. Oh, I'm not in sync. Bummer. I didn't get enough of the GRIB file. But normally you would obviously overlap the GFS forecast time with the image time here, but this is 12 o'clock, and I just downloaded 3 hours, and I didn't count the times up right. But so then you can look at the overlay. I'm not exactly in sync here, but then you can see the strong winds in this area where the isobars are close, and you see the winds, kind of going around the lows here, and things like that. And you can also, and it helps you evaluate the forecast for a longer term planning. Again, for most of our work, we're going to be homed in and looking at a lot more detail here rather than the whole ocean. Then you could go in here and let's say, let me turn on this. Let me show let me show this one. Yeah. And then maybe I'll turn off the wind. Oh, okay. How do I turn off the wind? None. Okay. So now what you're seeing is the winds, the heights of the 500 millibar surface, which shows roughly how these patterns are going to move. And you see this front. Oh, that reminds me. You see this front strung along here like that. When this dips down into here, this is the so-called atmospheric river can build up along such a system. And I've got to make a movie about that. But anyway, that's the system. That's downloading that full Pacific and overlaying images on it.